All right. I want to talk a little bit about pie charts today. So I found one that I feel like is funny because I can relate to this. I have bad hearing, especially when you're indoors and there's a lot of loud noises. Like kids may not be able to relate to this because kids hear better than adults. But what do you do when you can't hear somebody? Um, the first thing is definitely to laugh and hope it wasn't a question, and then that's when you get like, and you have to look up and you have to like judge from their look at you as if you misresponded to whatever cues they were giving you. Another thing that you can do is repeatedly shout, what? Um, every once in a while, I'll move closer so that I can hear them. And then on very rare occasions, I'll actually tell them that I can't hear them. So the idea today is what goes into creating a pie chart. Okay, so where did this start? Well, this pie chart is just to amuse people. I don't know if they actually started with any data or if they just kind of like winged it. But let's say we were asking a question and we started with some data, and the question is, "What's your favorite candy?" And you have, I don't know, 5 choices: M&M's, Snickers, Reese's, Mike and Ike's, which I'm just going to call Mike and M plus I's, and Sour Patch Kids, which again, so you don't have to watch me write the whole word out, I'm going to call that SPKs. And let's say I asked a bunch of people, you had to pick one. I know your favorite candy might be whatchamacallit, and it's not on there, but you had to pick one. And 4 people said M&M's, and then 5 people said Snickers. And obviously, the most people said Reese's because those are the best, and that's objectively true. 6 people said Reese's, which means only 6 out of this whole sample, only 6 people were right. But it'll be interesting to see how the other people that were wrong responded too. So I got all this data and I want to end up with a pie chart. There's several steps in order to get from this candy to the pie chart. The first step is to just recognize how many total people took the survey. And you can get that by adding up all of the different responses. So 4 plus 5 is 9, 9 plus 6 is 15, 15 plus 1 is 16, 16 plus 4 is 20. Okay, so this total is a very important part because now it gives us the ability to figure out as a percentage what did each person say. So this is 4 out of 20. This is 5 out of 20. This is 6 out of 20. This is 1 out of 20. And this is 4 out of 20. Okay, so then what I want to know next is what do each of these things represent as a percentage? And what's nice with 20%, 20 times 5 is 100. So you can easily get from a number that's out of 20 to the percentage by just multiplying that number by 5. So what I mean is 4 times 5 is 20. So 4 out of 20 is 20%. 5 times 5 is 25. So 5 out of 20 is 25%. 6 out of 20 is 6 times 5 is 30. So that's 30%. 1 out of 20 is going to be 5%. And 4 out of 20 is going to be 20% because it was before and it is going to be again. And so now for each one of these things, what I need to do is I need to set up a proportion. So to figure out the angle measure for M&Ms, I'm going to do 4 out of 20 is equal to X out of 360. Okay, so this forces us to do a proportion. When I solve that, it's going to be 20x is equal to 1440. And when I divide by 20, I get x is equal to 72 degrees. So the angle for M&Ms in my pie chart is going to be 72 degrees. When I try Snickers, I'm going to get this proportion. 5 out of 20 is equal to x out of 360. And so when I get that, I'm going to get 20x is equal to 5 times 360. I'll have to do this on my calculator, which is on my phone. And I have to stall while I'm doing it. 360 times 5 is equal to 1800. And I get x is equal to 90. Okay, so that's 90 degrees, which is an angle that I know fairly well. I should be kind of thinking as I'm doing this that 6 out of 20 is bigger, which means that I should be getting an angle that's bigger than 90 degrees. If I take my Snickers and I calculate it down here, 6 out of 20 is equal to x out of 360. I get 2,160 is equal to 20x, and I get x is equal to 108 degrees. And that's going to be my biggest angle. And Mike and Ike's is going to be 1 out of 20 is equal to x out of 360. 20x is equal to 360. X is equal to 18 degrees. Okay, so that one person that likes Mike and Ike's are actually pretty good. If I had a second choice of these, I think Mike and Ike's might be it. But there's only one person that prefers Mike and Ike's to all the other four. And that's going to be the smallest slice of the pie. And then Sour Patch Kids, if I'm not smart, I could go about setting up another proportion, but I'd rather be smart and save time and energy and recognize that 4 out of 20 is the same size slice for Sour Patch Kids that it is for M&Ms. So that also has to be 720 degrees. Okay, so if I'm going to create a pie chart, I think you could use a protractor to make these angles specific, like exact, but what I'm going to just do is do my best to eyeball it. So the one that I know first that I can do is Snickers, because it's 90 degrees. 90 degrees is a right angle. So if this is the center of my circle, that's a 90-degree angle. And I'm going to put Snickers there. Then the next one I'm going to do is Reese's. Reese's is a 108-degree angle. So I know that's a little bit more than 90. It's 90 plus 18. Okay, so if this is 90, maybe that's 18, which is a fifth of a quarter, which is also why it's a 20th. So this is going to be Reese's. And I could put in 108 degrees. I can put in 90 degrees. And then what else? Well, I'm going to pick, to me, I'm going to pick Mike and Ike's because that's a small slice right here. And so I'll put Mike and Ike's right there. This is 18 degrees. This is M plus I's. And then I know that my M&Ms and Sour Patch Kids are both 72 degrees. So I'm going to split this up between 72 degrees and 72 degrees. And this is M&Ms, and this is Sour Patch Kids. Okay, so this is a process that takes a little bit of time. There's several steps, but now there's a video that you can go back to and look at. So if you have questions, you need to ask them. You're going to be given several examples where you start with data, and from the data, you get to the point where each one represents angles. I want you to understand that you're going to make mistakes. It's going to be frustrating. And what you need to hold yourself accountable to doing is getting to the end of it, which a lot of times will mean asking questions when you're frustrated, because that's hard, but it's also important.